Test, test, 1, 2. All right. So we are live again. Welcome everyone to another live stream, right? Oh, what? Yeah, we're going live as often as possible and we're recording all at the same time. So multitasking, as you can call it. I have my other camera getting ready to get it set up so we can start recording and do the DIY. As I'm working, we'll be filming. As we're filming, we'll be commenting and we'll be doing everything. So as you guys can see, Filbert is now in the shop as promised 2 days ago, maybe 3, I can't remember, but I'm there finally. I finally have the car in the shop, ready for some work. I'm gonna take off the front end, take the wheels off, take the suspension off, probably remove the battery for now and remove the rear bumper. So yeah, hey, about damn time, slacker man. I know, right? Bro, I'm slacking on the 3D prints that I made for all you guys. They're all boxed up. You'll see in the background, all the way back there in the corner, all your 3D prints from all the people that requested them and got them are all there. They're just, I'm slacking, bro. There's so much stuff that goes on here at on my property. Guys, I gotta understand, like, there's a lot to do, not just, how do you say, car stuff. I mean, I have to maintain the property, got to take care of the kids, got to take care of my wife, got to take care of my dog. And getting probably in 2 weeks, we're going to have some chickens inside the shop with us while we're working on cars. Because we're going to be getting little chicks and we're going to be working on that. But without further ado, it's Filbert. You guys can see him in the shop. So I'm going to be jacking it up, putting it on stands and moving forward and getting this all started and going because I got to get to work. I got to get stuff done. I got to close that door right now. I got an ultra wide angle camera running right now as my stream camera. I'm gonna get my other one going so I can record everything that we're doing. All right. Without further ado, let's get to work and start recording. All right. Hell yeah, Wayne. It took me a minute to get my fuel pump. I had actually had to drain the entire fuel tank. There was wood chips inside my gas tank, and there was a bunch of rubber like flakes inside of there because of the rotting grommet was dumping literally just pieces of melted rubber onto the gas tank, and it was clogging the fuel pump. I finally was able to how do you say, get in there. I made a jumper cable. I brought my motorcycle battery and I reversed the polarities and shot it backwards as much as I could, and then forward and backwards and forward and backwards. And it finally started priming and pumping really good. So when I saw that, I pretty much got a bucket and I connected the 2 fuel lines and drained it into a bucket. I was able to get almost all the trash out of the tank. Once I got all that out, I ended up draining the rest of the tank out, and then I cleaned it. Got a couple rags and went in there deep and with my one arm and scooping everything out, cleaned all the fuel, got rid of all the debris. So yeah, we got that on camera too. So I filmed all of that. No, the fuel pump works beautifully. So I'm not really concerned for a fuel pump. It's not the fuel pump's fault that is having issues. It's always been the debris in the pump inside the tank, and that's finally fixed. So the car fires up beautifully. The next issue I have is tuning. Got to get the tuning taken care of before I go any further. But that's crazy that your fuel pump took an entire month to get here. Insane. So I'm going live on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube right now. So we got 3 streams going on. The streams are pretty much, I know, right? Dirty California fuel. Yeah, I agree. So on top of that being said, I got a brand new fuel filter. So I'm going to go with my clean gas tank, brand new fuel filter. We're going to put that in. That's part of the new DIYs coming in. And then I got also going to be doing a bunch of other new fuel lines. I got new stainless steel lines coming in for my fuel system. Got a brand new fuel rail. Going to be using new fuel injectors. And then next one will be a tune too. All right. All right, welcome everyone to this episode of PincheAl's Garage. And on today's episode, we are taking care of Filbert. Filbert is in the house. So let's get to work because this is PincheAl's Garage. Right? Now you guys are watching how like I start a video. Oh, that's not right. There we go. So for today's video, what we're going to be doing is getting the car up on 4 jack stands, front and rear. Once it's on jack stands, we're going to remove the front bumper, take the 4 wheels off. We're going to remove the rear bumper. The rear bumper, the reason why we're going to take that off, because I have a new rear brace, European brace for the back, which shortens the bumper and actually provides better fitment. If you have a aftermarket rear bumper, especially like a European bumper, like an R-line bumper, they don't fit flush because you have a stock American core support for the back. I mean, crash bar. The European ones are shorter, and I have 2 of them, so I'm excited, and I'm going to put that in. Front bumper is going to be removed. We got to repair all the brackets on the left and right side so it fits better again. Removing the air suspension as well today. So let's get to work. We're going to get the bad boy out. Let's see if I can get this piece of wood to work for us today. No, that's not going to work for us. Dang it. I'm going to have to open the shop. I'll open the back door. No more comments and see what's on TikTok. Wait, what's up? What's up? Beef and Jewy? Working on the Mark IV. I got to go get some 2x4s to lift it off the ground because, you know, those bent pinch welds on every Mark IV is a common problem. There you go, 2x4, ready for install. So one thing you're gonna learn is when you got a bent pinch weld, your jack, the top of your jack no longer fits. If you have side skirts, you have a huge risk of bending your side skirts. Upside though, when you bend your pinch welds all the way in, right? Again, on the upside, when you bend the pinch weld all the way in, you can put a 2x4 perfectly flush underneath it, and it's easier to lift up. Fun fact. Now we're gonna go as high as we can, front and rear. And the reason for this, because we gotta go underneath the car and assess other damage due to sitting for so long out in the dirt. I think that's about as high as I would comfortably have on it. See, 2x4 came out beautifully. I'm gonna rinse and repeat the process on all corners. Now, if you don't have a 2x4 to get this guy off the ground, sorry, but you're gonna risk damaging your pinch welds. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome everybody who's watching. Welcome, welcome. That's right, Wayne. Multitasking, right, bro? Oh, man. Let's get this car going. I will be leaving once my wife summons me for dinner, but I'll be back in after dinner to finish what I'm doing tonight. And you guys are gonna see how fast I can work on these cars, because I love Mark IVs. Now, one thing you have to get straight is to get it level when you get it off the ground on all corners, because if you don't, you're gonna have one corner that's not all the way down. It's kind of a weird issue that you get when you lift these guys. They're not perfectly square. All right, so front's off the ground. Let's get the back. Now the back is tricky because you don't have a good spot to put a jack. And I'll show you guys a trick to get the back jacked up nicely so you don't have an issue with, how do you say, getting a jack underneath here. Or, I mean, not underneath it, but a jack stand. I gotta get there to that point for you guys. Back here, I'm not gonna use a 2x4. Don't need it. Now, what I am gonna pay attention to is that front jack stand is leaning a little bit. So it looks a little dangerous, but no biggie. Just pay attention to it. Keep your eye on it. All right, so we're up. We're gonna get this other jack stand in there. Now I'm going to explain in just a moment what I'm doing. But I got to make sure I can do it. There we go. Now I'm letting it go down nice and slow if you guys can see that. I don't want to damage the rear line here. Woo! She's on. There you go. That corner's done. Almost on all fours. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was so sketch, but you gotta catch it though. Gotta catch it. Welcome, welcome everybody who's joining in. We're working on the Mark IV GTI. All right, one more corner to go, and then we're ready. Ready to start work. Yeah, jack stand. So I'm going up 3 holes on the rear. And I really have to be super careful now, because what happens is when you lift each corner and now you're going with the jack underneath, even though the jack can roll forward, it still wants to pull. So you have to keep an eye on that. It's very dangerous, and it can tilt a jack stand with ease. So it gets very dangerous at this time to get in here. But all right, we are officially off the ground on all 4 corners. And what I want to look for is stability. Now the rear jack stands I have on here in the back are kind of wobbly because they're like a pole inside of a pole with a wobbly base. I'm not super concerned for that. I'm more concerned for the front, but we're going to shake it anyways. And you'll see that back end will wobble. I'm okay with that. I'm not doing a lot of work in the back. I'm more concerned for the front, which I can't move. That means we're good. All right, so again, we got the car off the ground, and now we have to get the wheels off. Once the wheels are off, I'm going to be able to work on the front bumper and get the bumper off, and then I'll be able to work on the back bumper, get the rear bumper off. Once those are removed, we're going to work on front and rear airbags, and then we'll move forward from there. I want to go one big chunk at a time as we get this done. So standard Mark IV lugs are 17 millimeter. The ones in the back are not standard Mark IV lug nuts. They are aftermarket because we have adapters. So Just trying to find all my other sockets. In the rear, I believe that's a 19 or a 21. 19. All right. Get my impact socket. My 19. Okay. So now I'm gonna get my compressor plugged in. I got my little compressor right now since my large one is at the shop. I mean, at the shop, at my house in San Diego. Sorry. Like, I'm in my shop. The nice thing though, this air compressor is like the quietest compressor in the world. The downside is, dang it, I didn't bring my airline for this compressor. I have the wrong airline here. So we're not using air compressors. Oh, that sucks. All right, so I need to do this the harder, old-fashioned way. Where's that piece of wood? All right, let's see if that works. Yep, not turning. So pretty much just use the same 2x4 we were just using. Grab the seat and compressed it with the 2x4 and locked it in place. Now the front brakes won't move, nor the rear brake, because that one has a handbrake. And then I'm gonna get a breaker bar. And get these wheels off. The downside of that is that your lights are on now. These are on pretty snug because I can still turn the wheels. I need some money to get an electric impact gun, so I don't deal with this situation again. But you know, one step at a time. One step at a time. I do have an impact gun. I mean, a little impact gun for removing the bolts once they're broken loose. So I will do that next. Work on the rear ones. I need to get a shallow socket. So I mean shallow sidewall. That one's too thick. Okay. Okay. So that's set. Now I get my little chingus, my little electric impact. Still have these from the last guy who sent me these batteries. I forgot who sent me these impact guns. I think it was you, Wayne, wasn't it? That you sent me this impact gun? The set, the Hercules set from Harbor Freight. Like, I still using them, you know? So one of my subscribers, longtime fan, sent me a set of impact guns because I do everything by hand. I'm not a big fan of power tools. You know, yeah, you saw right now. I was like, oh yeah, look, you should have used a power tool because look how much time it saved you. I'm not arguing that. Not everybody can afford them. And I was one of everybody, you know, like, couldn't afford it. Let me get a battery to charge this guy really quick. He's running low on battery. All right, so, oh, there's the battery, so I don't have to worry about it so much. Sorry guys, in the camera's view as I record. Just want to make sure we have battery power. So, rear tire is removed. I'm going to work on the next one, the next rear one, pretty quick. Now that we got the right tool. Jeez. Oh, this one's flat. That's definitely a flat tire. That's okay. We're not using these wheels anymore. These are being retired for a couple years probably. And first person to ask, oh, are they for sale? No. They're gonna go up on the wall as wall art for a while, and I'll figure out what to do with them. You know what I mean? Maybe put them on my wife's car. I do have to take off though the clear coat on them and repolish them. They are in dire need of a repolish and coat and a recoating of the clear coat on them. Because the copper is definitely tarnishing on the wheel. I mean, it's copper. Copper will tarnish pretty easily. All right, next side. All right, wheels are off. So what I do as a practice every time, I put my lug nuts back in. That way they don't get misplaced. Now, if you're on here on either TikTok or YouTube or Facebook, I want you guys to tag for me, tag Raceland and ECS Tuning. Raceland primarily because I'm removing their bags. And once the bags are removed, we're going to do a full inspection on their wear and tear for over what, I think 7, 9 years I've had these bags. And I want to do a full inspection on them. And then I'm going to send them to Raceland because they're going to get warrantied out or get warranty service on them. Again, because they guarantee their bags for life. Why not? All right, we got to pop the hood because we got to get the front bumper off. I know you guys are asking, like, why is this guy removing the front bumper to get the suspension off? It's not for the suspension. I have to do more work on the front after the fact, so I might as well just remove the front bumper. I do have to pop the hood because we have to get to the bolts for the strut on all sides. Because when you do air suspension on a Mark IV, you do like a Mark V conversion on them, kind of, you know? You turn it into like a Mark V strut tower versus a Mark IV, which is just a bushing and a bolt. It's actually reinforced, so it's really nice. One thing you have to do, and I'm going to tell this to everybody, when you're working on suspension, give yourself a little, just a little chingas like that. Now I'm going to air out the suspension because it's under pressure right now. Now we want to air it out because it'll make it easier to, make it a lot easier to disconnect the lines and to remove them off your car. While you're at it, might as well just disconnect your airline. Just like that. Because you're going to need it out of the way. And ouch. Ooh, got me good. I got a little cut right here, stripped. Next step is to remove, it's been a while, but we got to remove the 18 bolt here that holds the strut. It's the pinch bolt, and then the 3 bolts on top. You might need a chisel, and you're going to have to unlock your steering wheel and turn it to the right. If you want to do a full lock to the right, the reason for this, it gives you better access to the bolt here and all the stuff that you have to remove on this side of the car. Remember that. Remove, turn, clock it to the right, 18 mil. And on top, they're 333 12mm nuts if you're using Raceland air suspension. All right, let me get my sockets out of the way because I don't need these anymore. Put that breaker bar back. I'm not gonna need that. I'm now gonna need standard stuff. Gonna need an 18 wrench and socket. You might need a deep socket as well. And also, remove the brake. The lights are gonna stay on. Oh, I got a message. Let's see who's messaging me right now. Nobody. That's right, full service mode, right, Edgar? All right, let's see. Oh, so you guys on Insta, you guys are gonna get a little bit more preview than everybody else. I mean, on Insta, on what is this thing? The Tiki Talk. Get you guys up and high. Doop. There we go. So we're gonna break loose the nut here on the bottom. So traditionally it's an 18. Got my Harbor Freight Extend-O-Matic ratchet. All right, so now the bolt is actually turning. So this is why we got the 18mm wrench to hold the bolt in place. So it prevents it from turning. That's broken loose. We're gonna swap out my attachment here on my gun and go to a 3/8 versus 1/2 inch. And then we're gonna hold the wrench and see if we can zip this guy off. Yeah. So 18, done. Now we're gonna work on the top, which I believe again is either a 12 or a 13 on the top. That holds 3 bolts. Yep, 13. Get this guy. One, two, three. So we got the 3 nuts off, the main pinch bolt off. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower the suspension. Now you see my didn't fall down, so I give it some encouragement. It's been a while. All these, if you have a fear of spiders, this isn't for you. Because there's cobwebs for days underneath here. And if you're scared of spiders, this is gonna just fuel your fear. You know? Now, it's coming out just nice and slow. Could we speed up? Yeah, we can speed up the process. Let me get a chisel. We can speed it up a little bit. I don't want to speed it up too much because I don't want to drop anything and damage something. Get my trusty 2-pound hammer. I'm just gonna find my chiz. Ooh, where do I moved them. There they are. All right. Trusty chisel. If you guys watched any of my old content, this is like my favorite tool because it makes the job so much easier. And then it's a T25, I believe, for the Torx that's on the strut. All right, so if you're okay, it's just gonna dangle there. And then you're gonna hold this, you're gonna whack it a little bit. And there's bag number 1, fully removed. Oh, that again, it's been a minute since this bag has done some service, but it has been on the road for thousands of miles. So Raceland, please someone tag Raceland in the comments and tell them their stuff is legit. I just hope you can honor their warranty just as your quality on your products. So, because it has been great. So bag number 1 out. Just like that, got a bag out, right? Yep, Volkswagen, we're removing bags because we're getting them serviced. That's the new garage, legit. Yeah, Ty, thanks, buddy. What we got, anybody else here? Welcome, welcome, hello, hello. Working on bags right now. So we're gonna work on this bag next. And again, it's not hard to do air suspension. It's hard to, what do I say? It's hard to make sense of it when you're not into it, right? That's one of the things I tell people. If it's your first time working on air suspension, then you're gonna be like, oh man, it's so overly complicated, bro. Oh, my walkie. Remember, I told you guys I'm gonna be going to lunch soon. I mean, dinner. This is Dad talking, what's going on? All right, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody and we'll be back on live after I'm done. All right, food is ready. I will be back 30, 40 minutes. I'm gonna enjoy dinner with my family and then we'll be back on live. So if you guys are enjoying this right now, I mean, we just removed a bag in like what, 20 minutes? Not too bad. We're gonna do all the other ones. I'm gonna show you how fast it is. Oh, 45 minutes. That's for the overall video, but once I got it off the ground, it's like not even 20. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, I'll be back on in 30, 40 minutes. See you guys soon. Peace out. She just said subscribe. Oh man, that was awesome. All right, let's end this. I'll be back in a little bit, guys.